Let's talk about med stuff. Okay, there's two sides to med stuff. There's training and then there's equipment. They're both obviously equally important. If you have the training, you need to have the stuff. If you have the stuff, you should have the training on how to use it. If anything, if you had to default to anything, you at least have the equipment so that you could fumble your way through it if you needed to. But training is where it really starts in the conversation. Training is essential. At Expedition Overland, we have a high emphasis on getting medical trained, the whole staff being medically trained. We start off with the basics, wilderness first aid. There's many schools that teach the WFA, or Wilderness First Aid class. There's Remote Medical, Aerie School of Medicine, the Knowles Wilderness Medical Institute teaches them, and many others. Those are three that I have done personally. They're all really good. And it's usually a weekend course. It's a Friday night for CPR, Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday night you're out the door with a Wilderness First Aid certificate, good for a couple years. Gives you a lot of the basic knowledge that you need on how to fix a problem and get help. The next step up, and I really have a conviction that a lot of overlanders that are doing big international trips or deep remote travel should have the WFR standard, which is the Wilderness First Responder. It takes it from, say, like a 20-hour class for the WFA and gets you into a 70 to 80-hour Wilderness First Responder. The ones that I've done are 9 days, 8 to 5, plus some homework. They're a legit experience and it's solid training. That gives you a lot more knowledge on the long-term care of a patient when you can't get them out of the backcountry right away. When that helicopter can't come in and rescue them after you've hit your in-reach, you're going to be there for a couple of days due to weather, etc. It also gets into more complex problem solving with more dramatic injuries or mysterious injuries like internal stuff, guts, spinal. When can you clear somebody to get up from the ground after a big injury in the backcountry? Typically in the front country, which would be within 1 hour of a hospital, we would say, oh, you just hurt your back, don't move until someone gets here that is trained to move you, right? We don't want to move their neck or spine. In the backcountry, that's not necessarily an option. Do you know when and how to move that person and to clear them to stand up? Those are the things that you start to get into and you do cover in Wilderness First Responder. Beyond that, you can go even further. There's obviously EMT stuff, but that's getting more into the profession of medical assistance versus the recreation guy. So if anything, Wilderness First Aid, WFR, if you can get to it and spend the cost of what it takes to do a course like that, but I'm sure it's well worth it. The peace of mind is awesome. So on the other side, we have equipment. And there's multiple levels of equipment. There's kind of your EDC, everyday carry, or blowout kits that you might say. This is one that we carry in our vehicles. It's the A360. It's available on overlander.com. And it's got everything you need for blowouts. Heavy bleeding, trauma, get to it fast, tourniquet on top, blood clots, stuff inside, everything. Then you can go to a more advanced pack, which would be more a wide range of medical problems that you would have, from internal medicine, heavy bleeding, medications, bumps and bruises or boo-boo kits, you know, just the regular Band-Aids and stuff, things that don't fit in a kit like this. And then you can get into extensive med kits that have surgical stuff, tools, airway, breathing tools, perhaps more high-level surgical kits like syringes and things like that you may want, EpiPens for allergic reactions. They scale up. Which one do you need? Well, I'd say you at least need this. We carry these, also known as an individual first aid kit, built specifically for that individual on the team or in the vehicle. These are within reach in the event of an accident in the car. This is able to be reached in the glove box, behind a headrest, or in a center console. It's always at the ready. We also have more advanced med kits that are then staged in deeper levels of the vehicle. Kind of have to get at them a little bit more. And then on our big expeditions, we've carried really extensive medical tools that are beyond the scope of like overlander.com that would assist in remote country surgeries. You bring your own supplies for those surgeries because you're not relying on the Guatemalan government to have all the stuff that you would want, at least sterile stuff that you would want, so you at least have it yourself. And if you have the medical training, you could at least sustain somebody for an extended period of time before that helicopter finally got in there or that rescue team was finally able to give you assistance. So there is no one answer. It's kind of, you need all of them eventually if you're going to go to that extent of expeditions and travel, but at least you could start with an IFAC or a blowout kit like the A360 or something equivalent to it. So yeah, that's the high level training and equipment. Make sure you got it.